Welcome to Same Spit Different Face podcast, where my opinions is facts, and if you don't like my opinion, you can start your own podcast. Don't forget to click that subscribe button. So I'm here today with my man's Floyd, man. He's straight out of Chicago, man. A lot of people would know him if they saw him. So basically why I brought him on, I give y'all the good, the bad, the ugly, but most in everything I give y'all, I try to give y'all something uplifting at the end. So basically, just to give a small rundown, and he'll tell you more. He from the streets. He done been through it all, done it all, seen it all, man. So, but now, you know, he a vegan. He done changed his lifestyle. I just saw him a few days ago, like helping pass out food to the needy out west, and he from out south. So you know how that go. If you know the west side and the south side thing, south side people rarely go out west, and west side people rarely go out south. But he went out west just to be a part of that and help give back to his people. So talk to him a little bit, Floyd. Tell him. I want you to tell them what helped your transition, because you done been in and out of prison, jail, all that shit.
Peace, family. So, basically, like Mike was saying, I was, of course, I subscribed to the street culture at one point, and I've been in and out of prison. I mean, I can relate to that fashion of life. But what really did it for me was I got locked up this one time, which was pretty much the last time for a UUW. Basically, what that is a gun possession. And during that time, I had actually violated my parole, so I was behind the walls, going on a court writ for a new case. So it just dawned on me, just seeing all the black faces, at least the majority anyway, black and brown faces, right? And I asked myself, like, this can't be my purpose. This has to be more to this. So I initially started my journey from there. Basically, at that point, what then came to my mind also was God. So my curiosity of God on the outside of what my mother and my grandma always told me, I concluded then, like, let me go in the Bible for myself. Let me try to find answers or whatnot. So I went in there. I researched. Reading for days, and then I concluded, okay, it's a English translation. So then I went into the Hebrew language, and I was pretty much using a strong Hebrew accordance Bible. My bad, dictionary. And I just was, cross-referencing words, and then one day I was looking at a book catalog, and I think this book that is a guy named Ben Amin. At this moment, I can't remember the name of the book though, but it involved in healthy eating. And Ben Amin is actually a Hebrew, and he actually came from Chicago, the Penny Greens to be exact. But anyway, it was intriguing to me the dietary laws that they subscribed to, which was veganism. I picked up on that whole idea of veganism at that point. Then later on, I got introduced to Dr. Sabi, though, but that's a whole other subject matter. So it really started with I realized how we was supposed to eat, and then I kind of like brought into the idea that we as in black people, that we was Hebrew Israelites, because that's what Ben Amin was. He was a Hebrew Israelite. Then I had ended up getting introduced to another book by this guy named Dr. Ben Yosef Yakin, called We Are the Jews. And so I'm thinking I'm getting a book that basically was like elaborated upon the idea that we was Hebrews or quote unquote Jews. But what Dr. Ben did in that book, he basically cross-referenced the culture of the African peoples of the now in contrast to the culture and narrative of the Bible. And the culture dynamics that there's some of them that you would find in the Bible, like circumcision, for example, though, right? The Africans of the now been practicing circumcision. It actually predates the circumcision that's up in the Bible. That's just to use as an example, though. So then I basically concluded that the culture of the now, they whole like civilization, the sciences that they created, it predates what we know as biblical doctrine. So basically it just started then, ever since then, I had at that point I got out, I kept reading, I kept studying. I then got put up on this guy named Dr. Amos Wilson. A lot of my political consciousness being shaped by guys like him, and ever since then it's been on and popping. Like I told myself, I want to become a intellectual jag masturbator, I'm gonna say. So I wanted to, be operational in my consciousness.
That's important. That's real important, because there's a lot of people who got intelligence or common sense, but they don't know how to apply it to their everyday life. So, like, two things I really see with what you said is it started with discipline, and it started with you actually wanting to seek knowledge. And I think that's important, that most people, I was talking about this to one of my homies from out south. He be doing the podcast with me sometime, Jay Think Ill. And we were talking about how a lot of people not self-aware will be able to look around and see what's going on where everybody else faults lie, but we never really look at ourselves. And I think that it was impeccable that you was in that situation and you was able to look around and just have that light. And I think you kind of fast forward your story a little bit. And what I don't want people to miss out on is like, this not like his first case he caught. He went to jail for a gun and he in there scared and he like, let me get my life together. Like he been in and out of jail. He been in the streets. He known outside. So it's not just like a situation where he just went in one time and he was scared straight. Because I know a lot of people who hear this might interpret that as, oh yeah, he went to jail once for a gun. Of course, he was probably scared. Nah, he did not scared. I done seen him outside when shit was on and shit was hot for him and other people around. He was out there. So it had nothing to do with being scared. It had something to do with the growth in his mind. So a follow-up question I want to ask you is, out of all them times you have been back and forth to jail, being shot, all that different shit, shooting at people, all this shit, like what about that one time that clicked in your mind that didn't click those other times? Was it because you were older now? Were you more mature? Was it because you were thinking about your kids? Like, what made your mind click that time that didn't click all those other times? Because I've known you for a while, and you've been a person who been outspoken. You've been had some common sense to you. You always been about your business, but you never been a rowdy person. You never been like a rah rah yell. You know what type of person I'm talking about. So I like me just seeing you. Like I was watching you on Facebook after a while. After we kind of became back friends on Facebook, and I just started watching you, and I'm like, damn, what he up to? So then I just started putting your page on scene first, and I just started watching you a little more. And I'm just like, damn, because I'm in that same transition in my mind where even with the things I'm doing, I'm just like, man, I could do more for my people. I could do more for myself. I can be a better role model. My voice can be bigger and I can have a more powerful impact. And that's why I chose to start doing this podcast. And I think just looking at you kind of was just letting me like, damn, okay, like this nigga really done changed. You know what I'm saying? Like, and when I say I know you, you ain't like somebody I've been knowing for like 2 or 3 years. Like I knew you when the spot was on Peoria. You know what I'm saying? When you used to be out there on Peoria and a few of us. So like it ain't like I just met you. I've been knowing you, so I can see the transition that somebody who probably just met you 1 or 2 years ago or just met you 2 weeks ago will probably just think like, oh man, he got his shit together. I want to be like him. But the whole reason when I hit you up about bringing you on, I want people to see like it's a transition. You have to make a conscious effort to change.
Okay, let me just go back and elaborate on.
And we got time too, so don't worry about the time.
Okay, all right. Let me just go back and elaborate on one or two things though, right? Okay, it wasn't fear factor or anything. Though.
Exactly.
It was more like it was more like a genuine eye opener, because even when I was in the streets, the mind state I had was, I'm out here, I'm gonna be genuine in whatever I put my feet and hands in. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, like I was known for getting money. I was known as a shooter. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, my background speaks for itself. You feel me? So at the time, after being locked up, a few times and actually doing time, that time in particular with the gun possession, right? My first doing, matter of fact, when I had caught that gun case, it was 2 weeks after my first daughter was born. So I was looking at the dynamics of my daughter being born, and then it just made me question everything. Like this can't be my purpose. You know what I'm saying? I'm landing myself in situations like this, and I have basically a brand new baby, then just being around in this system of the majority I see is black faces. It just didn't seem, for the first time, it just didn't seem normal. Like it was normal for me, like back then. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Everything seemed normal, but at that time it didn't seem like it was a normal thing. You know what I'm saying? So it just made me question everything. And once I was able to actually sit down and educate myself, because prior to then, I wasn't doing anything like that though. So I was able to sit down and educate myself, and the more I became edified, the more conscious I became of my behavior. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, you know what?
That's true. That's 100% true, man. The more you know, the more you kind of start condemning yourself about certain things you do and certain lifestyle you live.
Exactly. So at that point, I'm like, you know what? The whole time, it felt like I was a puppet in somebody else's show. And then I just started making corrections about myself. And then the more I recovered knowledge of self, the more motivated I became. So to speed it up just a little bit, like I was saying before, I ain't want to be known as a intellectual masturbator, so to speak.
Right.
You know, I wanted to be operational in this consciousness. You know, because it's one thing to critique the state of our communities, and it's a whole nother thing to actually get on the ground and to make positive change and to be a voice and to be a model of what black masculinity should look like. And that's what you really see a lot on social media. You know what I'm saying? Like just being in Chicago, you see a lot of people saying, "Man, this person got shot. These kids got killed." You know, Chicago said, "I pray for my city, but if you really want change, then get out on the ground and get involved. Stop complaining. You know, you complaining, but what are you doing about the situation? Are you a part of the solution, or are you the problem?"
Right. That make 100% sense, man. Excuse me. Yeah, that make 100% sense, man. Like I say, man, I definitely see everything that you trying to put forward. You know what I'm saying? Even I came in your inbox a few times, like, damn, you vegan, bro? Like, man, you vegan? You like, yeah, I told you that already, man. I told you. I'm like, damn, I must have forgot. But I was just, just being so surprised, bro. You know, like, even when you think about, like, even I've been working out now and trying to get myself in shape, just knowing that I need to be around for my daughter. But it's just like, you grow up, you eating hot and flames, you eating Italian beefs, gyros, steaks, you living a fast lifestyle, you fucking with all the bitches, you getting a little money, whatever, like you just whatever you into, and you can become blinded by that. You know what I'm saying? And even when you speak on just like your grandma and your mom, like my grandma was the one who basically instilled a lot of shit into me when I was young. So even though I learned a few bad things from the streets and I learned some bad behavior from my uncles, I was able to kind of overcome it faster because my grandma always kind of her words kind of always played in my mind. You know what I'm saying? So, and then
Yeah.
I always had an outlet. You know what I'm saying? I even just think about how people tell their kids like, "Oh, don't play sports, don't do this, get a book." And it's good to be smart, but just think about how much shit probably would have happened in your life if we wouldn't have been in the Salvation Army for them few hours. You know what I'm saying? I think about that all the time, like all the shit that probably would have happened in my life if I wouldn't have been in basketball practice. You know what I'm saying? I'm in basketball practice. I go back out west. Oh, the spot then got raided. I'm at the Salvation Army. I leave out. I go home. I got a call. Yeah, your cousin just got killed. We was just together all summer. You know what I'm saying? So it just
Yeah.
be like it be certain shit that, like you say, when you talk about purpose, bro. I can like I'm of the Christian belief, but I don't down what you say, and you've never down what I say. You just tell me your points, and I just say my points, and we respect each other points because I see
Exactly.
I see value in what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what we do too much in our community. We can see value in something somebody doing, but not really believe in what they believe in, and we tear them down. Oh, he believe in the black Israelite shit. I don't fuck with that. I'm Christian. And then it's like But damn, the man just went out west and he helping pass out food to strangers. He not even from the west side. And I know niggas from out west who not gonna go out, who not gonna pass out food. I know dudes from out west who got bread, who not gonna buy money, who not gonna buy nothing to give out. You know what I'm saying? So how can I down you as a black man just seeing and knowing where you come from and know what you're doing? So that's why me personally, like I've never been to prison. I've did a few nights in the holding cell, never had no major time, never had no real big case. But I know somebody like you who done had these cases, and it's a lot of people who done went through the jail system that's young and black that I might be able to tell them about a few things that go on in the streets, but they probably, nigga, you ain't never been through jail, you ain't never had no pressure on you, so it kind of be like, man, let me get him on here to talk about it, you know, because it don't matter, sometimes it don't matter how you carry yourself or what you do, it matters what they can see. Oh, we can pull his files up. He done been there, so they know for sure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So yeah, like I'm a Garveyite.
Okay, and what exactly is that?
A Pan African.
Okay.
Basically, a Garveyite. It relates to Marcus Garvey.
Damn, I was thinking that.
So Garvey is, race first. Like, I don't care what your creed is, what your religious belief is as a black man or woman. What's important is that you put your people first.
That I've never heard that before. That was good right there.
You put your people first. You race first. I'm a part of an organization, one of three organizations though. But I'm just gonna emphasize on New Era Chicago because that's who I was out west with.
Okay.
And they bear the ideology of Garveyism, race first. You know what I'm saying? What's a expansion of New Era Chicago? You have a New Era Detroit and a New Era Atlanta. Brothers and sisters out here doing the same thing, putting in that work though. Because personally, that's what I admire about these brothers and sisters from New Era Chicago. Because while everybody else is sitting back and complaining and not trying to make change, these brothers and sisters are on the ground. They in the community, controlling the streets, feeding the kids. I'm talking about it's a program that's on the ground for being started actually this Saturday, or orientation at the Marcus Garvey Center. It's hosted by these brothers and sisters. Educating our young brothers and sisters. That's what it's about. You feel me? It's about building. That's what we're trying to do: build and do for self. The same thing that Marcus Garvey was pushing, the same thing that the great Honorable Elijah Muhammad was pushing: do for self.
Definitely. That's definitely something that we need to do more of, is do for self. Like you said, are you complaining and part of the problem, or are you trying to help? You know what I'm saying? And one thing, and I know it might seem, I don't want to say weird, but it might come off different to you that I keep praising your actions, but I think it's real important what you're doing, man, because a lot of people just be all talk, you know what I'm saying? It take a village to raise a child, you know what I'm saying? And I see you putting your foot forward. Like I say, man, if I'm looking at you and I really see a change in your actions, and I see you putting your money where your mouth is, so to speak. I see you out here on the ground level trying to make a difference. So for me, I'm just like, damn, let me just pay a little more attention to him, because I'm on that same type of journey as being like, okay, let me figure out, okay, I know I got to do this in order to, you know, keep life together, but I also know this ain't my means to my ends. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at life.
Yeah.
I look at it exactly how you said it. Like, man, this can't be my purpose. Like, my purpose have to be bigger than this. And like I said before, that's why I started this podcast, because I know the narrative can be created one way and it can be pushed that way. Like, even when I even when I report on a bad story, like I might report on somebody getting shot or a rapper doing this or a rapper doing that, but at the end of every video I say, well, the moral of this story is that you can do this a different way, or this can happen a different way. So, you know, at the end of the day, a person gonna do what they want, you know what I'm saying? But just as a black man, you can give them different options. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people make decisions based off of the fucked up teachings they was taught when they was younger. Watching other people and actually learning from other people, and they never really learned different ways to cope with shit. You know what I'm saying? So once you learn them different ways, the first time somebody might say something to you, you might fuck them up. But then the second time, you already got that knowledge from the first time, and now it become less and less. Like, I'm sure now, like, I know for a fact, like, you ain't finna just let nobody go on you or do nothing crazy to you. But I know now from just paying attention to you, I know you got more patience. I know I know it's certain shit, that small things that probably would have got you riled up into a certain level, then I know you probably able to put that to a side and try to talk it out and try to be a voice of reason before it goes somewhere else.
Yeah, it's like you know, I just understand our people's psychological state. So that do brings more patience, because I can relate, because I was at that level before. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not fast to respond to foolishness or anything like that, because I mean, you know, we can just relate. You know, we came from the trenches. I'm just trying to impart the knowledge that I do have, hoping that it stimulates and provokes thought, and that thought then provoke change. But you can't force this on nobody. You know, you have to want to have this though. But just like you said, like most of us, we at certain times we had some fucked up options to deal with. But that's why knowledge of self and just like, as I'm gonna say, like expanding the circumference of your knowledge. And the only way you can do that is by watering yourself with information. And like we have this component in the black community to where people like dumb down knowledge. Like it's uncool to not know shit. I mean, like it's cool to not know shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But then if you come as if like you know something, then you basically get demonized for it. Like you would get demonized for being a reader. You feel what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, it's completely backwards, you know?
It's completely backwards. I know exactly what you're saying, man. Basic.
And then when you, pardon me, then when you look at the slave narrative, right? You know, we wasn't allowed to read.
Right.
So now, fast forward, you come as if you knowledgeable or you have an advantage of knowing something that other people don't know, then now you're being potentially demonized for it.
Yeah, man. It's like when you speak on trauma and everything like that, man. So they've done studies, and in your DNA, when you go through trauma, that trauma is not only passed on. Like, let's just say, um, just to give something super simple, and it might sound crazy. Your pops might be somebody who cheated on your mama or had a whole bunch of women. A lot of times people think that that's just something that guys grow up knowing, wanting to do because they see it. But things like that are passed on through your DNA, and it's been proven that family traits are passed on through your DNA. So if your father was a gangster or your grandfather was a gangster, not only are you more susceptible to be a gangster because you in the hood and you around gangster shit, but also it's in your DNA. Like, it's really in your DNA. So when you think about being a slave for 400 years and being told you can't read, being killed for reading, and all that, it's just like that type of trauma continues to pass on to your DNA. So it's a story they basically tell, and this kind of how the black community is when it comes to being smart. It's an elephant, and they put a chain on that elephant leg, and every time that elephant try to move, he can only go so far, and they do that for about 100 days. So that, and what they do is they train that elephant mind to be chained. So what happens is after 100 days, and this is when they training them for the circus, they take that chain off their leg, and that elephant won't move further than what that chain will let him do because in his mind he's still chained. So to piggyback off of what you saying, in our mind we still oppressed for being smart. We still get killed for being smart. We still look down on for being smart. We still ridiculed for being smart. So we don't take the time to read and learn and have knowledge of self and just be self-aware of the world around us, like you were saying.
Yeah, because our ancestors, right? They had a circumference of knowledge that stands 360 degrees.
Explain that a little bit too.
Meaning, and to try to simplify what I'm saying, that, for example, if you was a position, certain positions in modern time, they may be experts and pardon me, that was my alarm going off on my phone. Okay, like a position have like a position may be an expert in a foot or a brain or the knees. You feel what I'm saying though?
Right.
But what I mean by having a knowledge of self that expands 360 degrees, like a position being, they would have knowledge of the totality of self.
Okay.
You feel me? Both physiologically.
I get it.
And psychologically.
So it's like mind, body, spirit.
So it's like at this point, just knowing the history of white supremacy and what we're dealing with as a people, though, you should understand, or we should, for the most part, have I'm gonna say, be familiar with biochemistry, so that way, when we go to the doctor or have to go to a doctor, they won't be able to just tell us anything and subscribe to us anything because we understand how we work.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying, though?
Yeah, so, I get exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
A lot of times, if we don't okay, just to break it down in a way that people can understand out there. So basically, what he's saying is you have to have knowledge of what's going on. So let's just say if you let's just say if you smoke weed, when you smoke weed, you only smoke weed. If somebody come and try to give you some lace weed, you know it's laced by the taste, and that's or you know it's laced. What they say they put in there, you know that's something that you don't want to put in yourself. So basically, when you go to the doctor, if they telling you something and you not knowledgeable of it, you may take it, not knowing that it's detrimental to your body and to your health and to your lifespan. But if you got knowledge of what it is, you like, nah, I don't want that. And that's how you do when somebody's smoking or doing something that you don't want to do. Just to kind of tie those in so y'all can kind of understand that out there.
Like these flu and vaccinations though, right? Like Western criminology is pushing this on people, really though, when you think about it though, because they even refuse to allow our children to attend school without these vaccinations. But the whole time though, these vaccinations are poisonous. And in particular, the flu shot has an ingredient in there that's called thimerosal. And basically, what thimerosal really is mercury. And mercury is the second most poisonous thing on this planet.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
So, I mean, just having, and you know, it's also linked with autism. So, just knowing just the basic fundamentals of things like that, it'll save us.
Right. Yeah, I've heard that before, that it's linked with autism, but you know, at sometimes they'll try to say that it's not linked with autism. It just manifests itself after you have a flu shot, or it just manifests itself at that age where you're supposed to have a flu shot. But that sounds that sounds too coincidental to me, that at the time when you're supposed to have a flu shot, or when you have a flu shot, now it started to manifest itself. It sounds crazy, and they even, even just you speaking on that, man. And when you talk about knowledge of self, it's important for us to get all the knowledge we can now and pass it down, because in the next 5 to 10 years, talking about a lot of this stuff will be banned and outlawed, because even on YouTube, they taking down all the videos where people speaking against vaccinations, and they saying that vaccination's bad. They snatching people videos down, man. When people talking about natural healings, you spoke on you mentioned Dr. Sabi. When people speak on natural healings, they starting to take down some of them videos that say this natural ingredient will cure this, or that natural ingredient will cure that. And you know what? When I think about it sometimes, to tie it into like having knowledge of self, and when you speak about having that at 360 knowledge, a lot of these people who are regulating this stuff, they don't know that the people who actually doing these things have bad intents, or they don't care about the health of the people. They don't have the knowledge like you have. So if I'm somebody who regulating YouTube, and the government is telling me, nah, the vaccine helps more people than it don't. It does this, it does that. These people are bad. Obviously, if I don't have the knowledge to know that it's mercury in there, like you just told everybody, I'm gonna think, yeah, these people is nuts for not wanting to vaccinate their kids. Let me take that down, because that's dangerous to our children. But they don't have the knowledge.
Yeah, so these words have to be thoroughly researched, especially anthropological.
And that just mean that word just mean medical terms, right?
Basically, the etymology of a word basically would give you the origin of it.
Okay, the origin.
The origin and root of the meaning of the word.
Okay.
Because they have like I can't even think of this word right now. excuse me though, but it's a ingredient in Doritos though, but it's basically pork, even though it doesn't say that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, man, like they put stuff right in our face and they dare us to challenge it or to question it.
Right, and you won't even be knowing it. That I know a lot of people who don't eat pork that don't eat Starburst. And I had somebody show me a packet before and they was like, "Look, that's swine right there." I'm like, "What?" "Yeah, man, that's pork." And I just didn't know it. So for you to say that, I can believe it. I can definitely believe it. But I know it's an early morning and I know you got a day to get ahead too, man. I mean, he woke up early to talk to y'all, man. Um it's about 8 o'clock where he at now, maybe going on 9. But we've been on here almost an hour, so he woke up, to talk to the people because he care about his people and he wants y'all to have his knowledge. So, do you want to shout out anything? Like, can they reach you on Facebook if some of the young brothers want to inbox you and ask you some questions or the new era that you were talking about? Like, drop some more of that information.
Okay, I'm on Facebook. Floyd, Arifatu Payne. Arifatu, ARIFUTU.
Okay, yeah, man. So appreciate you coming on, man. I mean, any more information you want to share in the future, or if you got something that's gonna be like a few months out or a few weeks out that you want to get on here and promote or push out or say what's going on, you already know you got my number. Hit me up. We'll get right back on here like we are now, and we'll get the information out to the people.
All right, peace.
All right, peace.